Welcome to The Explainer. You know, we spend so much time talking about what we think, but what about what we feel? Today, we're diving into this amazing framework that helps us understand the emotions that really drive us. We're going to explore how to take those feelings we usually push away, like anger, envy, and sadness, and actually turn them into our greatest strengths.
Okay, let's kick things off with a little thought experiment. This comes straight from the source material. Imagine there's this pill, right? Let's call it summer. You take it and boom, you have this unshakable calm. Nothing can rattle you, no matter what life throws your way. I mean, sounds pretty great, doesn't it?
But hold on. Before you jump at that, you gotta hear about the side effects, because a life without any emotional ups and downs, well, it leads to this deep, profound indifference to everything. You'd lose your connection to people, your memory would start to get fuzzy, and you might even do some pretty risky stuff just because nothing really matters anymore. So here's the real kicker. Our emotions, yeah, even the painful ones, they're what give life all its color and meaning.
All right, so here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with why we even need emotions in the first place. Then we'll dive into how to manage the hot ones like anger, the painful ones like sadness, and the complex ones like jealousy. After that, we'll get into the 4 kinds of happiness, and we'll wrap up by talking about what it really means to embrace your imperfect self.
Okay, part 1, the case for emotion. And the subtitle says it all, why our feelings are our greatest superpower. So here's the big idea we need to grab onto. Your emotions aren't a bug in the system, they are the system. They're the energy that connects you to the world, they're your internal compass, your motivation, they're basically the operating system for being human.
All right, moving on to part 2, we're gonna talk about managing the hot emotions. And this means taming 2 of the trickiest ones out there, anger and envy.
Now this is fascinating. The source makes this brilliant point that there are 4 triggers for anger, and that last one is the key. You only get truly angry when you believe on some level that you can control the situation. Think about it, right? If you run into a tiger in the jungle, you're not angry, you're terrified. But if your family member does something to upset you, you get angry because you feel like you should have some control or influence there. That changes everything.
So what do you do with that anger? Well, instead of just bottling it up or, exploding, there's a much better way. This 7-step path is all about channeling that energy. It's not about never getting angry. It's about getting smart about it. And those steps, like pausing before you react, really questioning your own beliefs, and focusing on the behavior instead of attacking the person, man, those are absolute game changers.
Okay, let's clear something up that trips a lot of people up. Envy versus jealousy. It's actually pretty simple when you break it down like this. Envy is a 2-player game. I want what you have. That's it. Jealousy, that's a 3-player game. I'm afraid of losing what I have to someone else. See the difference? One is about wanting, the other is about fear of loss. Super important distinction.
And get this, not all envy is bad. It actually comes in 3 flavors. There's depressive envy, which is that I'll never be that good feeling. Then there's hostile envy, which is more like they don't even deserve that. But then there's admiring envy, and this is the one you want. This is when you see what someone else has and think, wow, that's amazing. I'm going to work harder to get there too. It turns that poison into fuel. That's how you make it work for you.
Okay, let's shift gears now into part 3. We're going to navigate what the source calls the painful emotions. These are the ones we usually try to stuff down or hide, right? Sadness and shame. But here's the thing. They have really important messages for us, if we can just learn how to listen.
So what is sadness, really? When you strip it all away, it comes down to one thing: loss. That's it. Whether you lost a pet, a job, your trust in someone, it's all a reaction to loss. And its purpose isn't to punish you. It's a signal from your body to just slow down, to reflect on what you've lost, and maybe, just maybe, to reach out and let others in.
So how do you move through sadness? Well, you don't fight it. You don't pretend it's not there. It's more like a 3-step process. First, you just accept it. Let it be there. Acknowledge that the pain is real. Then, you find someone you trust and you express it. You share it. That alone takes away so much of its power. And finally, you gently start to redirect your attention. You find something you used to love or something new you want to try, and you just start.
Now, shame is a tough one, and it's almost always social. Think of it like this. It's the alarm bell that goes off in your head when you think you've broken the rules of your tribe, your friends, your family, your workplace. It's that awful feeling that you're about to be kicked out of the group, and it gets triggered when you feel like you don't fit in, or you got caught being selfish,
or you just didn't live up to what everyone expected of you.
Okay, on to part 4, understanding the complex emotions. We're going to decode 2 of the most primal feelings we have, the ones that are hardwired right into our survival brain, jealousy and fear.
So, we already talked about jealousy a little, but let's go deeper. The source has this great way of looking at it. Jealousy isn't a character flaw. It's not a sign that you're weak or insecure. It's an ancient alarm system. Think of it like a prehistoric security guard living in your brain. It's a messy mix of anger, fear, and sadness, and its only job is to protect your most valued relationships from anyone it sees as a threat.
And what about fear? Well, the goal isn't to become fearless. Nobody's fearless. The goal is courage. And this 4-step process is basically the recipe for courage. You start by just admitting it, saying it out loud. That takes away so much of its power. Then you get smart. You learn about the thing you're afraid of. You learn how to calm your own body down with breathing. And then, and only then, you start to face it, little by little, in a safe way.
All right, we have waded through some pretty tough emotions. So now, for part 5, let's talk about the one we're all after, the pursuit of happiness. But, as you're about to see, happiness isn't just one thing. It's way more interesting than that. I love this chart. It breaks happiness down into 4 different types, based on where it comes from, inside you or outside, and whether it's high energy or calm. So you've got that exciting joy when you win something, but also that deep sense of achievement when you hit a personal goal. You've got the calm contentment of just watching your kids play, but also that profound serenity that comes from a real sense of inner peace. It's not one size fits all, and that's the whole point. So what really makes us happy in the long run? Look at this list. This nails what study after study tells us. It's not the stuff we chase. Money, staying young forever. That stuff doesn't matter nearly as much as we think. True, lasting happiness is built on a foundation of good health, great relationships, your own outlook on life, your values, and doing work that means something to you. It really is an inside job. And that brings us to our final section, Part 6, the destination. After this whole tour of our inner world, from the depths of shame to the heights of joy, this is where it all leads.
So let's be super clear about the main takeaway here. The goal isn't to get rid of the bad emotions.
No, the goal is to accept your whole emotionally rich self. It's about learning to work with all of your feelings, to listen to what they're trying to tell you, and to use that information to live a more complete, more authentic life. And this quote really just sums it all up perfectly. Happiness is finding satisfaction in desire and being soberly aware of both success and failure, pursuing the hope of perfection and imperfection. It's about being in it for the whole ride, the good and the bad.
Which leaves us with this one last thing to think about. What if the true path to perfection is just learning to calmly accept your imperfect self? What if all this chasing and fixing is missing the point, and the real goal is to just be okay with the amazing, messy, emotional person you already are?